the normal response to have a response? I mean, what is the socially acceptable thing to say in this situation? You want me to kick and scream, yell? I'm good at that. I could do that. I'm just assuming you would have double-checked those results before giving that news to me. You did, didn't you? This show that I'm working on right now is called Expiration Date. And it's a play that I wrote, produced, and am performing in. I wanted a vehicle. I wanted some kind of a showcase, because I felt like I wasn't getting cast in the things that I should be cast in, and I wasn't getting to do the work I wanted to do. So it started out that way, and then it just opened up this whole new kind of view on how I could live my artistic life, and about, I love to perform in other people's creations and working just as an actor, but I also, this kind of work, it's so gratifying to me to be able to start, at the very beginning and have control over every aspect of it and see what you can make. I'm sick, Jay. I'm really sick. And it is the kind of sick you don't get better from. I actually grew up in Alabama, and I moved to New York after college, so I lived there about 11 years. I moved here to Minneapolis in December of '09. And I came to Minneapolis because I had kind of hit my wall in New York. I was just really tired of kind of fighting so hard for everything, and I got excited about touring and producing my own work. So I thought, God, there's going to be a better place to do this. It's the cost of living is lower, and there's still a great theater community. Oh, when does the clock start? Now? 2 hours ago? I mean, do we count the time you kept me waiting in that disgustingly depressing waiting room where I would have probably contracted some kind of terminal disease if I wasn't already dying? I'm sorry, I mean, it's ludicrous. I had a cold a month ago, and now you're just handing me my walking papers. It doesn't make any sense. This started out as a very personal project. I lost 2 very dear friends of mine to different types of cancer, different diseases, when they were about 5 years ago, and they were 30 and 35. So that kind of started me off on this kind of, introspective just as a human being, but also just thinking about how I could make something to help people kind of deal with that kind of a loss, or start a conversation about death, about terminal illness, because the hardest part of dealing with that was that we didn't have the tools to talk about it, and then time was gone, and you're like, oh shit, man, like there are all these moments we missed. So anyway, the idea of the show started out there, and then I started just journaling and doing a lot of reading, and then I got a grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board to develop this project. I did research and did interviews with people around the subject, with healthcare workers, hospice workers, people who have faced terminal illness, people who have been at the side of loved ones, or just people about like their views on death and dying. So I amassed all of this material, and I had bits and pieces written. I was like, oh man, this is like a huge unwieldy topic. I don't know, I'm way in over my head. How can I like tell a story out of this? How can I honor all of these stories? And then I realized I had to just tell one person's story. And it kind of gets back to the stuff that I do well and I'm interested in, is just investing in one person's story and seeing where that leads us. I see, like, trying to figure out what my next project is and where I'm going. I see a lot of it about just being really connected to community and figuring out what, honoring myself and figuring out what I have to say, but how I can also make work that is useful to the community that I live in some way.